Wasabi forever. Stand for something. We appreciate the blessing, bro. Let's go.
Ain't trying to bite it, we create it, then we ride it. We know our wave is seismic and you really can't deny it. We just keep on soaring higher. You would swear it's autopilot, then you realize Tone and Shifter made a living off of fly. We are the wave and it's bigger than the moment. It's a movement that's progressing like the truck stick on opponents. It's time to stake our claim. It's time to bring the pain. We're battle tested, now it's time to show it ain't a game. It's time to make a lane, a different vibe, another way. We're known for killing shit, even help them pick their graves. We're breaking free in chains and running towards the daylight. The victory's in plain sight, we're taking flight to reach heights. These boys is tired of waiting, tired of playing, time to go. This vibe's been percolating, gaining steam to explode. Built in anticipation, maybe time to reload. We paid our dues, now we're coming back to repo. We kicking toes, we ain't got no time for peepholes. We keep evolving for our family and our peoples. Ain't playing fair in this game, we just some cheat codes. We are the wave and our hurricanes on beast mode.
Welcome to Wave of the Bay. With DJ Spaceship and the phone.
What is going on, world? It's your boy Tone Capone, holding it down, Tampa, Florida. Shout out to Kansas, man. I can't forget about the hometown, Junction City, of course, man. You know, I gotta shout them out. Ain't nobody else shouting them out, but yo, I'm holding it down for Waves of the Bay. This is the podcast, episode number 9, believe it or not. And the thing about Waves of the Bay, the podcast, we're on FM radio. Shout out DJ Spaceship, my partner in crime. But we've been on FM radio for over 2 years. And there's some stories we want to tell that we just can't get into on FM radio. And since the last time you actually came through, they've changed up on us. Like, they don't want us doing interviews on the show that much anymore because we are, Saturday nights from 10 until 12. So, alas, here comes the podcast platform. And I want to go ahead and welcome you, Pusha Preme, Billboard Preme. Welcome to the podcast, man. Episode number 9. I'm about to blow your mind here in about 2 minutes, bro. But before I do, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are.
What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite masked assassin. 1-4 for the Wandering Assassin. Pusha Preme is always the Bayway. Tampa will win. How y'all doing this evening?
Dopeness. Now, man, I don't even know where to start this one at. Let me just blow your mind right now, actually. So, This is episode 9 of the podcast. Like I said, we're 2 years into FM radio. Can you guess what show? Thank you. Can you guess what number show you were on last time we had you on for an interview?
99?
Nah. And I'm going to talk about the full interview, not you calling in, but the actual full interview you did with us with the Wandering Assassins.
Oh,
so, let me tell you this right now.
I saved on my phone.
We're on episode 115. Will be this Saturday coming up. So think about where y'all fell into that.
115. Wait, when was like the second interview? Like second or third?
Y'all were number 6.
Oh, shit.
Doug.
That's when you had
109 Saturdays since you guys came on, man. Like, it's crazy, man. I appreciate it, man, for real. But it's because of artists like you. I mean, honestly, like the heat y'all be putting out is the reason why we're sustaining, because we just keep on playing music, based out of Tampa Bay. But I looked it up earlier. I was like, damn, when's the last time we actually had a full sit down? And Spaceship was out that night. Now I think about it, man, because it was me and you and all the band, and we just got it in, man.
But just came back from a show.
Yeah, like y'all just popped through. We posted up, and I want to say y'all just formed a band by that point. Like, it wasn't that long, I don't think. Like, it was pretty.
No, it wasn't that long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh at that point.
I would say probably our third show together.
Crazy.
Our third show. But we practice all the time, and we have this like unique brotherhood to where it's just like we're all on the same page, And shout out to them too, because they put a lot of time and energy into just like, being a part of like something that I'm dreaming of. And it just so happens that we all share the same dream at the same from different angles and stuff like that, So shout out to them for, just forfeiting their time to kind of see these things come through.
That's exactly what I love to hear, man. It's about, different different views of the same picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you never know what other people are going to interpret. But if we're looking at the same thing, we're going to try to see the same image, just in different colors, different hues, maybe different shapes, whatever the case may be, man. But I look back at that point, and we also had you on, the original Ways of the Bay podcast back on Flow Ohio.
Yeah.
So
Definitely,
you think about all them old podcasts,
Underrated.
all them old interviews, bruh, and it's just like the growth is ridiculous, man. It's like we already knew you were dope, but now it's like the rest of the world is catching on right now. So let's start right there. Tell me about the Ascension and how it feels to be recognized right now.
It's still kind of surreal. It's hard to really think about it at the moment in time because I feel like I have so much work I want to do, but not just like where I want to take the music, but just for like the city. I just want to just have Tampa just be really, really, really a hub for creatives because there's so many creatives out here, and a lot of them they get caught in the work field and their dreams just die every day, or they just think about the money and they forget about the effort they put in, or they're self-centered and they want so much attention to just build their self-esteem up. I think what people forgot was just like, are you doing something that you enjoy doing? And that's how this whole thing started. Like, I enjoy creating music. I enjoy performing for people. I enjoy being able to just wow somebody with just like the creativity. And I love being like a band of brothers with people. So that's the only reason why I got here now. So sometimes it's hard to kind of like reflect on it until like I meet somebody like you and you're just like, yo, do you remember when this happened? Then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I do remember. Because like my long-term memory is like, it's really, really, really like selective. It's like, just so I don't dwell, you know what I'm saying? And always try to like challenge myself. So it's like a library. So when you tell me about that, I'm just like, damn, I remember that day. We going to my library and it's like, okay, open the book. I'm just like, okay, we had a show that day. We came straight from the show. That was the first time all those dudes, except for maybe Justin, had ever been on radio. And that was like the very first time that we had Matt J as our DJ. So it's the first time we were doing the DJ with the band. So it was like a lot of first time things that was going on. And then even before then, Ryder Rhea, she used to always rave about me to everybody. She's like, Preme. And at that time, it's just like, I was just trying to figure things out, It wasn't accepted to have a mask. It wasn't accepted to not talk about like gangster shit and talk about more like relationships and things of that nature, or just how it is just being an artist that's just trying to just do things that's not social norm. So to see that transition, it only comes to mind when we when we talk about it now.
Man, that's crazy, dog. Just thinking about it, man. And shout out to Ryder Reyes as well, yo. She's good people, man. That's the family right there. So that's another person I haven't seen in forever that I miss too. So shout out Ryder Reyes, man. Yo, Push, man. Like, my gosh, man. Like, where to begin, where to go with this, dog? So, like, for real, like, I've known you for a while now, and it's crazy I've known you this long. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing.
Man. I appreciate not only the growth, but it's like how you just change their lives. And it's just like, I don't know if you noticed it, but like, for example, like the record with Ezra Banks, right? So I was talking to Ezra Banks, and I was like, hey, don't feel like you don't have to like attack local and college radio to get this song popping. Because she really, like, she has like a banger as in the talk. But instead of releasing that one out, she's like, I'm going to do this one that has everybody on it because I just want to show the unity. And I was like, damn, that's different. Because the song that she got coming out, I'll tell her to send it to you. That shit's way better than that song. And that shit's like a bop.
She sent me 2 tracks, and I was like, man, I ain't even listened to them. I was like, which one are you pushing right now? And she told me the one, and I saw like a bunch of names, but I didn't actually get to read into it until I hit download. And I'm seeing names. I'm like, Miss Songbird. I was like, all right. And I was like, oh, Prophet. I was like, oh shit. And then I was saying Push. I was like, oh shit. Like, you got some heavy hitters on this shit. Yeah, but she stood up. She stood in the paint with that shit though too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was right there, and yeah, we was jamming to that one. Like, we actually debuted that last Saturday, and we're recording this early world. So, by the time this airs, it's going to be February 23rd. So, but right now it's February 7th. Happy birthday, mama! But we actually played this track, on Saturday, and that shit was jamming, dog. So it's going to be a rotation over there, 88.5, dog.
She premiered on the station in I believe in Jersey. Mm-hmm. So that same day she got it twice. I'm like, I tell her, like, yo, see, like, you're doing it. Like, you don't have to feel like people don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna find your niche. It's just that you just have the passion and just wanting to get the music out there, and it's
Yeah.
gonna land. You know what I'm saying? And it's working for her. And now Prophet is like he's like motivated. He's like, oh shit, like I'm back on the radio. I want to start because he's really fucking dope. I just feel like he gets.
I'm gonna be all the way honest with you, Doug. Since this is my platform, Prophet, I'm mad at you, Doug, because you was so fucking dope, and I need more of your music, especially to be able to play on FM radio. So come on, man, you too tight for me not to be playing your music on 88.5 or worldwide, and that's my preach to you because I know you and you dope as fuck, Doug. So come on with it, man. Like, straight up.
Nah, word. Yeah, we spoke in the studio, and he's just like, he just had like a bunch of things going on, but he's a music hoarder. He loves hoarding music, and he's
producing
like
and all that shit, man. Like this dude is
and
mad
engineering
talented,
too,
man. Like, come on, all y'all talented cats, and that's what that's one of the takeaways I got from the song. Like I said before, I even listened to the song, I seen who was on it, so I was like, all right, bet. Let me go ahead and put this on in the car while I'm riding. And then you over here singing and shit, man. I'm over here riding, dog. Like, oh shit, like here Pusha go. So I love it, man. I love it, dog. And I've noticed you've been doing a lot more collabs lately. So what's up with that one, man? Like, are you just trying to like bounce energy off people, or how's that coming about?
If I'm being transparent, I'm just really trying to just test my limits and my and what I can do and what I can't do. Like there's certain things I want to do, but it's like I haven't found that perfect beat to bring that out of me. So a lot of these features, what they do is like when they reach out, they be like, oh, I got a track. I'll be like, let me go ahead and hear it. I'll make my decision from there. Then when I hear this, be like, oh wow, I've been dying to use like this vocalization or this effect or this a way to approach. I just haven't had that production yet. You know what I'm saying? Because my team is just really trying to hone in on my sound. So a lot of my newer stuff is a bunch of like beat flips, and it only gives me like an opportunity to do like really like 8-bar setups. You know what I'm saying? So as of late, now I was like working with these different people, and it's like, okay, well, I want to do like a nice little 12-bar hook that don't have a chant afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Or something that just like really cater to like one particular like person. You know what I'm saying? Like those hooks that feel like you're talking to somebody. I want to do that a lot more. So. Yeah, it's just the production I get right now doesn't cater to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really just like I'm trying to make. It's gonna sound cliche, but I'm trying to make hits. You know what I'm saying? And not in the hit in a way to where like the whole world. Like I just want to make like universal music. Like when I go to the mall and I hear like Pharrell's "I'm Happy," I would love to make a record like that. Because then my daughter can enjoy that record when she gets older. So that's what I'm trying to like. I'm trying to make feel good music right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to slander people. I don't want to talk about beef. I don't want to talk about the past. I don't want to be on some hustle shit. I'll say that shit for when you want me to rap. And then it's like, okay, here's my bio for everything I got going on,
So when it comes to the production team, like, do you have like an in-house team, or are you looking for more beat makers? Because there's a lot out here.
I have an in-house team right now. It's hard to reach out to more people because it's like the first thing people give me is trap. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like I'm not doing trap. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm really just banking on just kind of just getting the name out there overseas. And I feel like the overseas market will appreciate what we're doing here in Tampa. Because a lot of people that live in Tampa are not from Tampa. They're from New York, LA, Chicago, Jamaica, Europe. So if we can have that influence channel over to us, then at least people will be able to kind of like make the music that they want to make and know there's a market that's going to appreciate it.
I'm gonna attack that right there because there's one thing I can't stand calling our area artists, and that's local artists. And everything you just touched on is part of the reason why I can't stand using that term. So explain to me why you are not a local artist.
I think that with the city of Tampa being such a major market and everything else, like why would that be considered local? Our football team's not local. Our hockey team's not local. Some of the food franchises not here local. I think local is just more so of like a backhanded way of saying that you're not signed, because there's really nobody local anymore because the way Spotify and Apple and Amazon work, more people from outside of the countries get to hear what we're doing anyway. So, I guess it's just like a term that people are just kind of just used to saying, but it's like, I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my whole goal and my purpose being here is to make sure that everybody that has like-mindedness and the type of taste making that I'm making is a part of it, or they get a chance to experience it.
Yeah, man. I swear, I feel like people put themselves in a box when it comes to that shit, and just like you're talking about, it really depends on if you're pursuing a music career, if you actually have your music business correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got your money right, you got your business in order, you got everything lined up, then you should not be no damn local artist, because you're gonna be getting streamed in Asia and Germany and Paris and all this stuff. So it's just like, don't limit yourself, man. And I'm looking at somebody like you, you're fucking charting on Billboard out of Tampa. You know what I'm saying? So, like, why would I consider you a local artist? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a hell of a grind, and a lot of people, that's a major flex that a lot of people can't talk about.
Yeah. And, it's, I was just blessed to be the opportunity to have a teamwork behind that to make that happen. And, I tell everybody, like, you never know, but if you stay consistent, then it'll happen without you even knowing it, because you're just working, and then things are just gonna just manifest themselves. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like the same players that like train and they play every season. They're not like, yo, game one, we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. No, they're just like, yo, we're just gonna just keep playing hard, keep winning games, and oh shit, now we're here. And that's why I try
behaviors, man. That's what it is. It's just routine, and it just adds up after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I agree. I agree with people because in the beginning, I wanted to just be respected in Tampa for what I did. But then when I realized that like the market in Tampa is really not catered to like my particular style. It's like it kind of caters towards like and I'm not going just based off like I do a lot of analytics, like the Spotify charts for Tampa. It's a lot of Kodak. It's a lot of Hot Boy. It's a lot of like struggle music, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is like, I don't want people to look at us as African Americans as like the struggle culture. You know what I'm saying? We're not the struggle culture. It's just that we're just in situations that our forefathers or our parents put us in, and we're just trying to find a way out. You know what I'm saying? Like right. the mother of that was 25 that happened to get pregnant, had to drop out of school. If she wasn't pregnant, who knows what she'll be? She'd probably be like, got a 6-bedroom crib in New Tampa. We don't know. But right. Her shit stopped here, and to provide for the children, she had to stay here. And then when you come out, that don't mean you stay here. That means you keep moving up. I was talking to Sounds and not I call him Shannon, but that's his name. Sounds Anonymous. And he was talking about the gentrification in Tampa, and I'm just like, what did you expect? It's a city. Every fucking city in the United States is going to make changes. And he's like, oh, they're getting rid of projects, they're getting rid of this, they're getting rid of that. And I'm like, duh, because the thing is, if I have a business, if I'm coming from another country and I have a Chinese restaurant or Amscot or anything, any kind of business, and I need my business to grow, hell yeah, I want the environment around me to change, because the thing is, we have to be ahead of the times. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I don't care what hood or what plateau you're from, you have to move with the times. Because now we live in times where we have electrical cars. Feel me? Electrical cars are like, it's a thing now. So if you're not moving, you're going to get lost and you're going to get forgotten about. But America's not like living in Jamaica to where I could just be chilling in the, you know what I'm saying, in the rules. No, you can't do that here, because they're trying to change everything. Because if everything doesn't catch up, then the city dies. Then you have this little brown spot like on the Monopoly board that nobody wants to be a part of. And that's not what life is about. You got to live to the fullest.
I look at it a few ways, man. Like, honestly, like, I've been in Tampa for 16 years now. So I actually used to live over in West Tampa, and, when I ride through there and I just see all this vacant shit, it's just like, damn, this shit's wild. But I know that they're going to be putting new shit up there to make it look better and to attract more people and whatever. And I say that because where I'm from in Kansas, my town is like 25,000 people big right now. We're right by a military base, and we're a dying town. So there's stuff that closed when I graduated in high school where the building is still standing with the sign on it. Nothing's been done over there. Like, we have a whole part of town that is just completely just done for. Like, you can completely, raise the entire side of town and build some new shit. So I look at Tampa and I just see them not settling. Like, I don't see them being complacent. We're going to knock this building down and put something new up like in 30 days. When I go home, it's like, yo, why is this shit still fucking standing? Like, knock this motherfucker down.
down, and like I feel them. But when do we look in the mirror and be like, I was complacent and I waited too late? It's kind of like taxes, right? Like you got some people that don't file taxes for mad years, and it catches up to them. They be like, damn, oh man, I got to go through all this shit now. Yes, because you waited too long. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got to abide to the times. You feel me? It's like that's why I had to do, because like when I saw things was going on just in like music, the way that people was doing shows, and I seen Mike was like, yo, Preme, stop going to these showcases, do your own shows. And I was just like,
Easy.
nah, I'm not going to. But you know, the reality was I was scared that no one was going to show up to my show. And when I started doing shows, then that's when things started propelling for me, because now I'm doing my own show. I'm working twice as hard to be able to get the people in the building. And then now it's like the fruits of the labor is showing off. And that's the problem with you know, some of the people that are in this position. They don't want to put that extra work in. They don't want to wake up just a little bit earlier. They don't want to read just another buck to be able to progress. They're just like, well, I got my spot here. I'm going to do this. I got some time to chill. I'll go home. You know, my mom, she used to be the director at TGA. She talks about it all the time. There'd be times where overtime is available, right? And if these people have issues going on to where it's like they got bills, they got things they need to take care of, and they won't take the overtime. They won't take the overtime. That's fucking, it blows my mind. You know what I'm saying?
And complain about this shit. Woe is me. Nothing ever goes right for me. All that shit, man. Like, nah. I'm a firm believer in putting some fucking work in, man. And I know you can understand that shit. If I didn't put any hard work in, I'd be in Kansas right now. Or dead right now, honestly. Like, straight up, man. Like, Tampa is like a come up to me. And, you know, I've been to college and all this other shit because I put in fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just stand still and expect things to happen to you, because that's not how the world works.
Oh, yeah. I don't care where you're at in the world. Imagine if Tampa was in India, bro. What? It'll be so tough for people. I tell them all the time, like, I come from New York to where it's like, they won't gentrify the place, but it's like if you're not up on the new hustle, then you're going to be broke forever, and your children are going to be broke, and their children's going to be broke. Be lucky that you're in the town to where it's like they might break down this old rec center and turn it into like, you know, the whole like Publix Chinese restaurant dry cleaner. But not for nothing, you can get one of those spots too, and then open something that you enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, like I'm going for.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with the drop money, though, man. They should have been using that shit to invest in themselves and getting businesses and all this other shit. Once it dried up, they assed out. Like,
yo, I saw the documentary. The documentary, I was just like, wow, like niggas is really doing this.
Oh, they were doing it hard.
Like, niggas got fucking 6-foot roofs and they getting Maybachs in the.
I used to live in the West when a lot of that shit was going on, and I just sitting out on the patio, you'd be seeing some shit, man. Like, yo, 32-inch Dayton's and shit. Like, yo, what the fuck, custom? So, man.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, you know, maybe it's a cultural thing, but it's like I'm always going to promote people to just look for like advancements. And one thing that you definitely said was important was getting the music business right. Because I'm trying to work, you know, to myself to be in a position to where I sign a deal by the end of this year. And I tell everybody like, yo, do you have the LLC? An LLC is like $175. Like, even if you didn't even want to work, you can DoorDash over the weekend and make $200 and get an LLC. And then use your LLC to be able to get the purchases for your studio time so that you can build business credit. Then when you build business credit, you're able to file for these loans. You get these loans. You get to do whatever the hell you want because you just write it off, and then everything just goes off your business. Like little things like that. Like, you know, I try to tell as many people. I'm not gonna stop telling them, like, because maybe he won't listen, but somebody like Jay Brown will listen. That's why I stick around with Jay Brown. That's why I stick around with his and like the people that I do collaborate with, because they listen. Like Ezra Banks, she listens. I'm like, yo, when you do this record, go for radio. Go for the radio that you can touch right now, because this song has a sample that's familiar with people. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, now look, she did 2 in one day, and then she's not gonna stop talking about she wants to do a challenge next. I'm like, yeah, keep going. Don't give up on the song.
Yeah, have a plan, have a strategy, and that's where I see a lot of artists fall off. Like they'll just put a song out there, but they're not really pushing it. You know, like they just have, and they'll drop a whole bunch of shit and just never really have anything in particular that's defining. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
I
just
used to
one of
be
them
one of them,
things.
so
Like,
I know.
but you know exactly what I'm talking about, though. You
Hmm.
dropped a whole bunch of dope ass music that can get more recognition if you probably would have fell back a little bit and pushed it harder. I'm sure, right?
Hmm.
Straight up. So it's just one of them things, man. Like I want to know actually, because since you're steering her towards radio, like how do you feel about radio? Because a lot of people think radio is dead.
Nah, it's not that. I think radio is a great avenue to touch the older demographic that will spend the money with you if they see that as feasible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, feasible. So when Wild played Adam and Eve, that was a shocker because I I didn't think that she was going to do it when she had told me to. And then Joey played it, and then everyone's reaction from hearing on the radio is the reason why I'm just like I fuck with radio because it's like it feels like you're just graduating from like college. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife was all
Hmm.
teary eyed. I had people send me videos that had people be like, "Yo, I'm gonna record this shit every
Right,
day. Every day I get in the
right.
car.
And
Like, yo,
nigga, we
tell why
made
not talk to me?"
it.
Yeah,
Straight up.
and that makes me feel good because it's just like some people are just rooting for you to win, and radio is just like the platform that everybody respects and understands. You know.
Yeah, all the
Oh,
way.
actually,
That's
that's where we were starting the campaign for people to request the song on Ways of the Bay too for 8.5. So you know,
dope.
what I mean, should we get some requesting for sure?
Dope, man. That's one of the things I love about, our FM platform is because we're not like iHeartRadio or controlled by none of the masses. We actually get to play what
Yeah.
we want to play. And it comes in so handy, man. Like there's some nights I'm up there and I'm just in an R&B mood and I'm just gonna go R&B. And B. And then there's some nights I feel like taking it back home to Kansas and I got enough artists from home that we could rock a set. Or else
Hmm.
sometimes I want to listen to, the homies, out here, the Tampa Bay artists. So I can go hours with Tampa Bay music, man. So it's just one of the benefits of being able to do our own shit. That ownership part of it, that having your fingerprints on some shit. Kind of like how when you're talking about doing your own events,
Hmm.
taking ownership of your own shit. There's something to be said about that, man. I love it. Like
Hell
honestly,
yeah,
honestly,
hell yeah.
man. But yo, this is Waves of the Bay, the episode 9 of the podcast. I got Pusha Preme right here holding it down, Tampa, Florida. You're always talking about Tampa will win. Why?
Like, like why? No, because the thing is, this city has the potential to be as big as Miami or Orlando. I mean, we already took care of everything when it came to food and beverage. The city already gets a lot of bread. It's a beautiful city. Like you said earlier, like you love Tampa because of the opportunity. I call Tampa the home of second chances. Like there's a lot of people that come up from fucked up positions. They come to Tampa and they flourish. Like the stories are endless. You know what I mean? Even somebody like Tom Brady, he came down here, rebranded everything. Now he's doing clothing. He's about to be a spokesperson. He's like a whole
Motherfucker
new
look
person.
extra happy right now, don't he? Like that's the Tampa sunshine got to his ass quick.
Yeah, it's a great city, man. Like we don't get beat up by the hurricanes and the storms like everybody else does. You're able to travel to multiple parts of town like St. Pete to where you can get a lot of the arts and the water and get that vibe. Then you got the Clearwater vibe. Then you got Tampa, the inner city. Then you got different parts. You have your river
Hmm.
views, and it's such a very like well put together city. It's just like I just feel like they're gonna win regardless, and people just count us out because they don't understand what it's like to be in a city and then watch it grow like Sim Cities or some shit like that. Like Miami was already established with
Hmm.
all like the drug money or the clubs and stuff like that, so it has like one particular identity. It's only now. A couple of years later, they're like Art Basel, but we've been doing that in Tampa. We've been had graffiti on buildings. We've been doing art shows. Like we had all that already. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can't forget about us anymore. You can't sun us. You can't little bro us like we're our own city. I know a bunch of people that love to be in Tampa than Jacksonville. No disrespect to Jacksonville, but it's like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a reason. There's a reason.
Right.
There's not too many cities that have like enough that vibrating energy.
I tell people all the time, man. And like Tampa as a city is just amazing. Like for me, it's a lot like Kansas City because it's late, but there's mad shit to do. It's like Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. It reminds me of St. Pete and Tampa, like twin cities like that. But there's so much stuff to do out here that it's just like next level with it, man. And everybody, no winter time, man. Please, these people back home hate me right now is when they hate me the most. In February, I don't even be thinking about their ass, man. I'll be
Hell
out here
yeah.
in shorts, tank top, slides,
Boy.
kicking it. They in ice advisories and shit back home, man. Like I don't miss that at all, dog. I don't miss that shit at all, man. But I love Tampa and I love what's happening here. Like the city itself's growing up. Once the Water Street shit is gonna be done, it's gonna be super off the chain. The way they've done the Riverwalk,
Outside looks
off the
fire,
damn
man.
chain, dog. Like, yo, Sparkman Wharf compared to Channel Side, man, please, dog. Man, please.
Now we have a rail that takes you like from that takes from St. Petersburg to Channelside. We have like a little like
The ferry,
come on, man, like
yeah, man.
who's really doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
experience alone, like I don't know, man. I just feel like we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of it's like a melting pot. So when you have a melting pot of individuals, you're gonna make some good ass sound culture. That's the way I see it.
I see you. I see you on that one. Okay, okay. All right, so we got Pusha Preme right here on the Ways of the Bay podcast, episode number 9, talking about Tampa will win, talking about some Tampa talent. But we got to go right back to you because you are one of the most elite Tampa artists out here. You just nominated on the. I gotta say it, man. Creative Loafing put you on the top 21, 22 artists. Man,
That was dope, man.
how did that feel to be recognized by your peers?
I go front. So that one I felt really good about because like I worked so hard to cross over in the urban market in Tampa by doing the song with Tom G. So I have finally got my respect from there. Like like people like Buck Sosa and LA to Go and like they know who I am now. They know it's like okay, this is not like some like phase because for them they just seeing it now. But I've been doing this since like 2011. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many years. So for them to catch up and be like, okay, now it's authentic. This is who he is. It felt good. And then, for Creative Loafing, because, I'm not going to say what issue, but the last time I was on Creative Loafing, I was on there with H. And that's years ago.
Okay.
So to be mentioned with them so often with Gasparella. And then, like, they had another issue where they had mentioned us for the show that we threw. And then, like, now to be, in the category for artists to look out for, it's just, like, it makes me know that, like, the work that I'm putting in actually means something. To not just me, to, like, people who's watching in,
Right, it's validating. You know what I'm saying? And sitting on this side of the table, it's just, it's encouraging, too. Because, I see artists that don't put in as much work as you do, but they're not getting as much shine as you are. And that's refreshing to me. It's not about people, it's just know who you know now. It's also about that talent and that drive working together. And a lot of people might be dope as fuck with no work ethic, no drive. They might have all the drive in the world, all the work ethic in the world, be whack as fuck on bars, but you are a combination of both, man. Like I remember we had you on the podcast when we had y'all. What we used to call walk the plank, ride the wave. We used to call it ride the wave. Ride the wave, and we had you freestyling. And it's like, yo, this Pusha Preme, you expect him to, write some shit down or whatever, sing something, whatever the case. No, he sat down and dropped one of the most fire freestyles we've had on Waves of the Bay to this day, dog. So it's just like
homeboy that was with us too was kind of going in too.
Oh yeah, man. Case. DJ Cass.
DJ Cass.
Yeah.
Damn.
Both y'all was going from LA to New York with it, man. That shit was dope as fuck, man.
Oh shit.
It seems like forever ago though, man.
It does, low key.
The Rona is completely just like years. It's like Thanos and snapped his fingers and I came the fuck back and I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened in this motherfucker, dog? Like, we 2 years later?
Yeah, that was an interesting year. It went well for me, but that was a very interesting year, though.
Did you have to switch up because of the Rona at all, or the
no?
that
Actually,
had,
I got
they
closer to my
just
friends.
stayed? Really?
I got closer to my fans. Yeah. We just when I knew, I was just like, okay, the music that I make matters. So I'm supposed to. I had just signed with Symphonic. I just signed with them, right? And I was supposed to do my release party at the Symphonic building. First, they had shut me down. There's like 50 people only. I'm like, 50 people? Like, what? He's like, no, man, that's too low.
Right,
I'm like, all
right.
right, we'll do it anyway. We'll make it exclusive. They're like, we can't do it. COVID. Oh, broke my spirit. I had so much planned for that shit. And cause we were doing the fashion shows. So our clout had came up from doing all the fashion shows.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, you know what? Well, let me drop this project, which I may use this title later on down in my career, so nobody steal it. But it's called Overthinking Will Kill You. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this. So I went on IG. I'm just like, hey guys, I'm dropping an EP called Overthinking Will Kill You. If you want the link, I'll give you the link. So a bunch of people hit me up. I sent them the link in like in a MailChimp format. So it was my first time
Hmm.
like running MailChimp. And there was a video of me telling like, hey guys, like this is not just something for you guys to listen to. I just want you to take a little deep dive in. And then a week from now, we'll all link up in a Zoom call. That's when Zoom was popular. We'll all link up in a Zoom call and we'll talk about it. So we did that. We had like
Mm.
25 people in there, like mad boxes like the Brady Bunch. And we're always just talking about the album. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So, with them talking about it, giving their feedback on it, that just kind of just continued the trajectory. And then, then I was traveling a lot. Ticket sales were just like cheap as hell. So people were like,
Hmm.
they saw me drop this project, they saw the people's reaction, and they see me traveling. So everyone's like all eyes on me, during that time. So if I'm still doing music at the same time though, so I'm taking like our trips, whatever, and then putting like songs behind it and things like that to kind of keep it like going. So that just kind of led it on. So when things kind of eased up on COVID, we had another show, and that shit slapped up, and then it never stopped moving ever since.
I love to hear that, man. I told Spaceship going into this shit that we had to come out the other side better than we were at the beginning of the Ronin. I remember our last show because we almost didn't have that shit. We was going back and forth on that shit for about a week and a half. It was
Man, he
March
was telling me about
19th.
it.
And I'm just like, yo, I was like, bro, like, I don't know when the next show's gonna be. We're gonna have to go ahead and do this shit right now. And I remember we was out there at Ebor, and we probably had about 50 people there. It wasn't that many people either. And I was just appreciative that they came out because, we didn't know shit was about to hit the fan like the very next day. But
Mm.
we was out there kicking it, had a good old time, had poetry and some R&B and all that shit, man. Next day, everything shut the fuck down, dog. Baby girl school shut down first, and we was like, oh Lord. And then everything shut down from there. And it's like fucking almost 2 years later right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember we had the show, and then trying to remember because that's the only thing is like it's fucked up because it's like 21 and 19 because I feel like COVID happened in 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 21.
No, it was
19
definitely
into
20. It
21.
was 20. Yeah.
20. So what happened in 20? Because I remember Spaceship was going to he was going to fill in and DJ. I did my own tour. I think that's the year afterwards though, because that's when we did the Hooch and Hive show.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We had another fashion show in 20 at the International Hotel, and that's when they gave me the residency. But we didn't take it because the girl that got me the placement, I wanted her to be involved with it, but COVID fucked the whole mata up, so she wasn't even trying to do nothing. She didn't want to see nobody. She was just like, I'm staying home. I don't want to die. And it's like,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. It's one way or the other. You either all the way there or you all the way here. It doesn't seem like there's an in between with it, man. I know I'm in the house a lot more than I used to be because I'm comfortable at home now, man. And I know you understand it, wifed up, baby, and everything, man. Like I love
Bro,
being home.
it's
Like I
it's
have no
it's the
problem
most.
sitting here with the family.
It's so conflicting, man. It's so conflicting, but I just gotta just think of more creative ways to just get myself out there. So we have a show this Friday in New York, and then the March 3rd we're gonna do our big concert because we charted on iTunes. So we're gonna have our shoe drive. Then after that, then I'm gonna like sit back and really like assess like, okay, how can I get people like what we do as a band, but still be like in the midst of like my daughter's life. So that's gonna be like the next chapter, you know.
Now, one thing I always appreciate about you is the connection that you and wifey have, especially with everything that you're doing musically. So, can you
Mm.
speak on having that support behind you?
Yeah, no, that's my rock, man. That's my rock. Like we bump heads sometimes because she has her own dreams, aspirations too. So, but she's a huge supporter though. She takes a lot of back seats for me to be able to kind of do what I do. And I know I do the same for her as well too. It's something to where it's like I can't say that it's everybody's gonna find somebody like that. If you don't have
Hmm.
patience. So she has a lot of patience with me. She's been through everything and she believes in it. Like she's seen when there was like when we had the Crowbar show and it was like 30 people there, and then I got fucking. And she was there when the billboard came in the mail, and I'm like taking it out. I'm so excited, I fucking hit my head with this shit. And then and then she was there when um when we did the Strads, we just did the Strad show. So she's seen everything, and she understands that like I'm really a firm believer and just working hard and saying what I'm going to do and following through with it. So we just keep each other accountable. So I'm just thankful to God that I don't have like a headache, like I have like a really good woman.
Bruh, I feel the same way. I see my people struggling. I hear stories about some grimy women because it's not just grimy dudes out there no more. Like these women will set you up and rob you and kill you and all that shit. And I'm just so
Hmm.
thankful I have somebody that is trustworthy and supportive as well. Because a lot of people in this industry, music industry, don't have that. You'll have the girl that's going at you and making you feel bad or whatever the
Yo,
case may
dude,
be.
like
Like.
hearing the Kim Kardashian and Kanye West shit is just like I don't even know how to be able to stomach that, bro. To like for you to not let me see my child on their birthday and then put them on TikTok without my permission. Oh
Hmm.
man, like Kanye, yo, big salute to Kanye because I wear a mask and all that, but I'm still a violent black man. Like oh, I'm going over the edge. Like shout out to him for being able to like contain the fuckery.
Hmm.
And I hear the thing about like Lil Durk and them and these female situation and and then the Migos and their woman like hopping between like yo what? Nah, I ain't got the patience for that, man, for real.
Nah, I ain't got the patience and I ain't sharing. Like straight up, those two things. As an Aries, I ain't patient for shit, and I ain't sharing a goddamn thing that's mine. So fuck that. Like, For real, for real. But nah, man, I always and I said the same thing to DeBron and Dora when I first met DeBron. I'm just like, man, I see y'all's relationship and I look at it compared to me and Winnie, and it's like, man, I show respect to that because a lot of people need that for real. So
Yeah.
kudos, man, kudos with that shit. But yo, the Billboard though, the Billboard when that thing came in the mail, man, is there video of you opening it up?
I do. I do have video. I'll send it to you if you want to like it's like a PIT
Uh,
thing. Yeah, bro. I was excited because like when they told me about it, I was just like, okay, whatever. Because I was a part of a compilation, so I was just like, they're probably not even gonna put my name on it. They're gonna put their
mhm.
name on it and stuff like that. And then, nah, man, they made sure that they gave me my flowers. That's why the next chart that we're getting, cause the purpose of the March show is to unveil the next one. That's when that one I'm like I'm super more proud of. I know it's like iTunes compared to Billboard, but that one was just like on the label that we have under our LLC, us. You know what I'm saying? It's all us. So it's dope, man. It's dope to be able to be able to like just live to see these things happen. Like I have it on my wall right now. So it's like when my mom came, cause she's like really big on like getting a degree and stuff like that. So when she walks in the house and she sees it, I just be like, yo, it's crazy, right? I could have stayed in school, right? And she was
Uh.
like, you still can't go to school. But she respects it now, though. She respects it more. Like she'll tell me like, she's like, oh, I almost said my name. She's like, oh, I like that song, Adam
Hmm.
and Eve. I love this song, Adam and Eve. You need to do more songs like that. Let me put you on to some people from Sierra Leone. So like that's what I'm working on now. Like I'm just working on with a bunch of artists from Sierra Leone and kind of just creating that bridge. So maybe somebody there I can get an opportunity here and vice versa. So I think my calling is becoming a little bit more clear than it was in the beginning.
Would that be like Afro beats then, or like what type of
Yeah, it's like
genre would that be?
Afrobeat.
I
It'll
would
be Afrobeat.
love, I would love to hear that. Like I don't know who I'm listening to, but I listen to Afro beats all the time on Apple Music. Like there's a plenty of playlists on there, and I'll be jamming the fuck out, man. Dolapo, you know Dolapo Inc. out here?
Mm-mm.
Oh
Put me
man,
on.
I'm about to connect you to Dolapo, and I bet y'all two are gonna be on point with that shit, man. Let me write
Okay.
that down before I even forget that shit though. Like Yeah, that's what's up, yo. Okay,
You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
excited for you. But nah, actually, I'll be doing beat battles, or we did beat battles and everything. So I remember one of the categories one year was Afro beats, and fucking Mad Smooth and Tachi was heated about that shit, man. They didn't want to do that shit at all. They was complaining about the shit. I'm like, man, fuck that. I want to hear the shit. Like I want to, and that shit was a vibe like a motherfucker, dog. As soon as that
Hell
shit
yeah,
started coming
Afrobeat is
through,
like
woo!
it's like the holy trinity of everything that we like in music. Because I don't care what anybody says. Those funky sounds is like we that's what we grew up on making beats. So
That's
we
what we're
love
supposed to
those.
be listening to, man. Like it feels like music. It feels like music to your ears. Like you step out and this is the world right here, man. Like
Hmm. Very very
yeah,
colorful, very live. There's a lot of life in that music. It doesn't feel like a downer.
right, right. Nah, that's what's up, man. I can't wait to hear you on some shit like that for real, man. What else you try? What other genres you trying to switch on to?
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a genre called Afro pop. So it's the same vibes of like the Afro, but then I want to be able to use the same chords and the same synths that they use in like in pop music, and then blend them
Hmm.
together. So that's what I'm trying to create right now. So I'll send you some records that you'll hear, so you can kind of like see the development of it.
Dope, dope, dope. So I want to take you back to New York with it, man, because I'm pretty sure you started doing music back in New York. So walking
Hell
around
yeah,
New
yeah.
York, hearing everything, feeling the energy around you. Like, who was some of the artists that you were growing up and inspired by?
DMX. I loved his delivery. Jay-Z for sure. Like Jay-Z was like God to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
I love the wittiness. I love the storytelling. His beats were amazing. And then Busta Rhymes. Those were my people. Like when I was living in Queens, that was like the people I listened to religiously. Those three. And then as I got older, it was Missy, Outkast, and Master P. Very oddly,
Hmm.
Master P too, because I stayed in Tennessee for a little bit. So that music was kind of like it was weird, but Master P like I can appreciate his pain. You know what I'm saying? He used songs like
Hmm.
I really miss my homies. Like I felt that shit. You know what I'm saying? I
You
was
can play
like,
that thing
damn.
right now and still feel that shit, man.
Hmm.
That'll take you right back.
Bone Thugs. At one point in time, I was in like a mystical stage, but thank God for mystical because they introduced me to Pharrell and then the Nerds. And then when I moved to Tampa, I was heavy into the Nerds and Pharrell. That whole movement with the clips and everybody, I was heavy into
Hmm.
that shit. The production was just so dope. It wasn't like anything I've ever heard before in music. And now listening to them allows me to enjoy people like Tyler the Creator. Like he's one of my favorite artists that I listen to on a daily basis. Like chords, man. God damn, bro. 'Cause I didn't grow up in a Baptist church, so I didn't get those. I didn't get that growing up. That's like me older. So those shits is like it's so magical, and it just gives you like a different way to kind of express the lyrics in music to use space and to not be afraid of space. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Hmm.
artists they hear a beat and they're afraid to kind of just like hit you with a 4 bar setup, chill for a little bit, and then bring it back and give you like a nice little 8 bar setup. You know what I'm saying? Like that
All
space
the
and it's
way.
like so important so you can digest the words.
There's a lot, exactly. A lot of times people will just write, 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 and not give themselves any pauses or none of that shit. And it's just like you're over here, you're not even delivering. Like the delivery is all the way off because all you can do is spit, and people ain't
Hmm.
really getting the intent of your words. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do it different. You can cut
Hmm.
out a lot of the words and still have the same message.
Yeah, that's the hard part. That's poetry right
Yeah, that is poetry right there.
there.
For real, for real. But now, man, what else, man? All right, so Jay-Z. Jay-Z is like God to you. So recently Jay-Z was like, there's nobody that can challenge him in a versus battle.
Mm.
Who would you put to challenge him in a versus battle?
See, the thing with Jay-Z, he thinks it's a battle between words. It's not a battle between words. It's about nostalgia, production, and performance. So, like, as much as you won't admit it, Kanye would give him a run for his money for sure,
Hmm.
for sure. And people have been telling me Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne doesn't have as many hits as Jay Z. That's the only thing. Like Lil Wayne might
But
be
we're
close,
we're
but it's
talking
like
about 20 though. Let's say 20 versus 20.
20 songs.
That's how the versus
Yeah,
challenges are
but
set up right
Jay Z
now.
it's not fair. Like I heard everyone's like take on Facebook. It's not fair. Jay Z has a bigger catalog. Two songs, he can do two songs off of Reasonable Doubt. And I'm not. That's not even the lyrical. It's just like when you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh, like you automatically love it because it plays a part in your life. Wayne has a lot of great verses on other people's songs that make you love him. A lot of mixtape shit. There's even a category for it called mixtape Wayne. But you can't tell me a song off the Carter 4 can beat some shit off Jay-Z's 4 for 4. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't add up. Like there's a certain point in time where the value of Lil Wayne didn't come in like these songs. They came in these verses. But Lil Wayne's an incredible rapper. So if it has to do with like my bars against your bars, yeah, hell yeah, Lil Wayne would be a great, but it's not going to be that. Jay-Z's going to play New York. Jay-Z's going to play Threat. Jay-Z's going to do H to the Izzo. What the fuck are you going to do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? There's nothing. You're just going to sit there and you're going to be like, damn, look at your DJ like, yo, the Locks just proved that. Like, the Locks,
Right. That's what we going to do, man.
What are we going to do? The Locks just proved that. It's like, these songs that we bang with the Locks, they're mad nostalgic. You know, once he pulled out the New York song, I was just like, oh, it's over for them.
That was a mismatch anyways, though, man. Like, Dipset was more, they had some fire-ass beats. You know what I'm saying? That's where they came from, in my opinion. The Locks, not a damn chance, man. Like, nah, you ain't taking out, you ain't taking out Kiss. You know, not a damn chance, dog. Not a damn chance, dog. So I saw that one being super lopsided, man. But when it comes to Jay, I feel it is a very short list. Kanye is on that list. I feel Drake, even though, like, if we're just talking about music, I feel like Drake
would be a good
paint against anybody. And then, I don't know, the more I think about it, like, I feel like Nas can still stand in the paint with Jay, too. You know, because when you listen to Nas, like, I've been listening to more Nas than anybody lately, man. It's like, it takes me back to when I was cutting grass outside, you know, when I was a kid.
He does have a really fucking good catalog. I'm not going to front.
It's ridiculous, though.
His catalog is mean. I will say that.
And then, like, the latest tracks, like the latest Hit Boy, have just been super ridiculous. Like a renaissance to Nas' career, dog. Like, straight up. Matter of fact, Nas needs to call a damn album Renaissance, man. It got his name in that shit, dog. I'm a trademark that shit.
Oh yeah, I see what you did. I see what you did there.
Hold up, man.
He's up there, yeah. I think Nas is probably the only person where it's gonna be like a toss up. Like the songs would have to matter because Nas has a bunch of nostalgic records that, like, if I will rule the world, you're gonna be like, holy shit, you know.
Got Yourself a Gun, dog.
Huh?
I was listening to Got Yourself a Gun.
That one too. That's a hit. Shit,
ain't heard that shit in forever.
Even if you do his Roomba size, if you did Fried Chicken with him and Busta Rhymes, like, he got a bunch of them, man. He do. Yeah, Nas is like,
man. I love it, dog.
In My State of Mind, yeah, he got a bunch of them. It got to be somebody that's from that era, because the catalog, that's it. Because if I have more albums than you, I have more choices of songs.
Yep. All the way with it, man. Episode 9 of the podcast, we're speaking with Pusha Preme, Billboard Preme over here holding it down for Tampa. Man, New Yorker holding it down for Tampa. I love that shit, man. I love it. I love seeing New York, like Mike Mass, like we were speaking on. Every chance he gets, if he's out there in national, you know, television or radio or whatever the case, he's still putting on for Tampa, man. And that's how Tampa's going to win, dog. Like, Tampa, the music movement is like, we're here and we're ready. So I just can't wait to see what's going to be next. But for you, I want to know, I always see you post about Yism. I want to, what is y'all's relationship, man? Because it seems like y'all's bond is like, when it comes to music, it seems like both of y'all are always checking for each other and always collabing with each other. So
that's my guy.
How did that come to be?
I love Yism. You know why? Because when I first came on the scene, like, I was like, all right, I need to start from the youth and work my way up. because Mike wanted to just take me from like under his arms. I was like, nah, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm not gonna be doing like rap. Like I want to do songs, and if I gotta do songs, I gotta start from like here and work my way up. But I'll see you when the time comes. Mike was like, you sure? I'm just like, I'll see this one with them Parisians. I'm like, trust me, bro, it's gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yism, like, he just like allowed everybody to just like give me a chance. So I came, you know what I'm saying, on a mask or whatever, and just like, this guy is like, this, that. And it's like, yo, I'm just a fan of MF Doom. He inspired me. I want to make music anonymously. I used to be a part of a group, and I don't want that story of me being that group to continue on because it's like two different thought processes, two different ways of making music. Like, I made my first solo project away from the group. You know what I'm saying? Before then, I
Mm-hmm.
had never made a solo project before. So, and Yuzum was just like, yo, let's, like, I fuck with him, give him a chance. And, the more shows I did with Yizm, the more people stayed and people was like believing and seeing the movement that we're going through. And I just love Yizm's energy, you know what I'm saying? He's a very genuine dude. I nicknamed him the Rage God. I'm like, yo, you need something to kind of just go along with what you're doing because you're making these kids like feel good about just raging out. I don't know what's going on in their household, but your voice has this thing to just bring out this uplifting. I want to jump and exert myself kind of energy. It's like you hear like what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing is gospel to these kids. So, like you just need to just continue doing that and just figure out like the marketing in your music. So, we look out for each other because it's like I know how much potential he has, and he allowed me to be able to hop in his circle, build his fan base, which grew my fan base. You know what I'm saying? Because they say
Mm-hmm.
like if you see if a crowd sees another crowd enjoying something, they're normally going to kind of attach to it. And he helped me blow. You know what I'm saying? He's like one of the main reasons why I blew up in Tampa.
I could see that, man, because that dude's energy is unmatched, man. Like I've seen
hmm
him.
We did one.
I
We actually did
love.
one of your
Oh,
shows because of Yism. We did one of your
yeah,
shows
I
for that
remember the
show.
shows at Fubar, man. That dude used to have
Yep.
the stage rocking, yo. Like, uh,
Hell yeah.
good times, man. I miss doing shows in St. Pete because we got to meet so many dope artists out of St. Pete and kind of, we used to call it bridging the bay, personally, because there's a lot of people there's a lot of divisiveness between Tampa and St. Pete, man, and I feel like it's starting to be more. I won't say unified, but they're more. I don't know. They're more cordial to each other now. You know what I'm saying? We all want to see each other win for the most part. So we're
hmm
starting to work together. And it's not every artist, but I mean, you don't need everybody for a movement either. You just need a few like-minded people. You get the ball rolling, and then you see everybody else trying to chase after the ball and catch up from there. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's one of them things, man. But you're doing your part to progress the music scene with the masks. I want to know how much work do you put into each mask?
Shit. OD, man. It's like it's so much work that it would be like it would be a headache to make another one for another individual. Like I wouldn't even put myself through like the turmoil to sell it because of like how much, you know what I'm saying? Like right now I'm blessed right now, so I work with Watrina Kilson, so we collab
Mhm.
on them. So all I gotta do now is just give her the design, and then we just agree on the pieces, and then we just come together. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know, these are the things that I would like in there. She'd be like, okay, well, to have these things, make sure that you have this to continue the maintenance of it, and we just work together on it. So she's working on the third mask that we're going to do for the March show. So I'm excited to see how we put that all together. So, but prior to that, shit, bro, no, bro, it's like from sitting there with the glue gun and then like looking at the sketch, then looking at this and fucking up. What's my
Yeah, and
fucking
this
sick?
probably some shit only you seen too. Nobody else ever noticed it, but because you seen it, you gotta start all over again.
Or I have like a wild show and like everything's all fucked up, then I gotta go home and stitch it back up. It's just it's a lot of work, and it makes me respect the mask more because like every mask I make is pertaining to a certain project. So
Mhm.
like this one was like for before I say I do. The chain, one people call him the chain, what I call him Chainsaw P. He was for Red October. Then Time was the White Ranger, and before Time, the studded one that everybody kind of like caught on that was for like the older
Mhm.
projects. So every project pertains to a particular mass. So I like the fact that like sometimes I look at the mass and be like, okay, I remember when I was at when I was making this. I remember what kind of music I was making or what point of view. Because I live so much in the moment, sometimes I forget about like what's going on around me.
That's sick as fuck, man. It's like a time capsule almost.
Like a
Huh?
time capsule.
Yeah, that's dope as fuck though. So is that like pretty much the next evolution was into Tampa? Like the clothing brand from there, or how did that become?
Yeah, because the thing I was doing clothing in New York with King's Legacy, and when I moved to Tampa, they had just started propaganda, so they put me on their team. So I saw what they was doing, and I was just like, "Yo, we thought we had an idea to do this and do that." So they were just like, I was just like giving them creative ideas, and they started modeling me within that. So I started modeling it, and then like after a while, like after certain pop-ups, they kind of slowed down a little bit, and I'm like, "Yo, we should do something for Tampa," and they're like, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay, why?" Like, "Oh, Tampa doesn't support Tampa," and I'm just like, "Get the fuck out of here." So I went on IG and I'm just like, I'm making these. I'm going to make a new T-shirt. I'm going to make a T-shirt that's high quality. I'm going to embroider the shirt, and then my goal is to sell to 100 people. So if you buy 5 of them, that doesn't count. I'm going to meet 100 new people. That's what I did. I met 100 new people, gave them, and that's why I was like, Tampa will win because everyone says they don't support the city. That's a lie. I think that's something that came from like, and shout out to Tom G though, because like I can imagine what he had to go through if niggas is going through this now. So I feel like the Drag Boys and the Jack Boys and all that era, they were just beefing so much they didn't allow people to grow, and the young artists could never plateau the older artists, and that's why they feel like Tampa is a crab in the bucket market. But that's a small group of individuals. That doesn't define for all the bands that come here. That doesn't define for the Mike Masters that come here. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different eclects of different artists out here that don't define that. So when people say, I'm just like, no, like that's not what we got going on here, because people are still throwing shows, people are still doing radio shows, people are still getting on the radio. You still have your Kid Bricks out there. So no, it's not a losing city. If you're mad, that's because you're mad. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with anything else. Like people were mad that Jay Brown was on the 22 list. I'm just like, but Jay Brown put in work. You know what I'm saying? He not only that he put in his own shows for a minute, he's featured on all like most of your favorite records on other people's joints, and he helps orchestrate his girls' fashion shows. That's somebody to look out for. You know what I'm saying? Because like you want to miss somebody like that, because then he could put you on the. See, that's the way I look at it. The top 22 list to me is not who's the best. It's just like, hey, if you're new to music, if you're a blog, if you're a radio, if you're this, these are the people that you need to talk to because they're doing something on a progressive level. Not, I'm better than this person. That sounds crazy to me, bro. No human is better than another human. It's all subjective.
Straight up. Straight up. Now, one thing I will touch on with that is part of the reason why I really don't miss doing shows is egos. Like, so many egos from artists is just out of control considering the amount of work that they put in compared to another artist who's actually putting in work. So just dealing with those artists every day, like I love doing our shows. I mean, we did Ignite the Night for 7 years, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like I love doing them shows, the shows across the bay in St. Pete and all, but the egos, it's like, and then when you do your own shows, I mean, there's nothing guaranteed, and a lot of people don't understand until you actually put your own show on together, the stresses that come, with curating type shit. You might not make your money back. What's gonna happen? You got to pay your people. How you gonna balance that shit?
Yo,
like
these niggas think this shit is sweet, bro. You know how much money I spent on my band?
I can imagine, because bands ain't cheap.
And security.
Right.
And the merch, yo, they don't understand, man. That's why I'm so appreciative of what we do, because it's just like they have no idea, man. They have no idea, and I be telling them because now we have to kind of I have to give you the real rate for a show. I can't do favors anymore, because the more it comes out of my pocket, it kills my investment for the band, and the band won't even accept it anymore. I remember there was one show. They had paid me less, and I'm just like, I gotta Zell you, and they're like, Zell you? I'm like, yeah, I gotta, they're gonna give me this. And they're like, we're not taking your money, but one thing is, I'm not playing for you if they're not gonna pay us what they need to pay us. And I'm like, all right, bet. And my man Julian's like, no, they gotta pay us, man. The show that we give, we should at least get $1,000 for a show like that. And I was like, I bet. And now that I understand the power of inflation and influence, because I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the moment. So now I understand that it's like, if you bring an act like us, then yes, you're supposed to charge 20 at the door because you're bringing us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did GMF, we did this, we did that. You know what I'm saying? And people will recognize it because when we mess with, like, and I don't mean to say it like that, but when we work with the white people, they always pay. They always pay exactly what we ask them for. They don't even
question it. They don't try to negotiate. None of that shit. They ain't bartering. None of that shit, man. It's only our community where that shit happens at, man. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking frustrating.
Like, I get
you got to build the value, bro. Like, you got to build the value, and that's exactly why you can't go down on the price.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right because, my keyboard player could just be like, I just take a wedding, we're just gonna pay double. So they cancel a lot of gigs so we can do gigs just to make sure that people get the experience. For me, it's the experience. I just, my whole purpose of just making music in Tampa is to change the trajectory to where it's like we have a live local music spot. Because when I go to New Orleans, they got that. Every Wednesday, Currency has a spot. They got a house band, and you hear live music and fucking rappers all day long. I'm just like, why the fuck we can't do that in Tampa? Everybody plays an instrument in Tampa. Everybody. And if I just had a situation at the Strats, right? My drummer couldn't make it. I had 4 of the drummers hit me up talking about, let me know, I'll play. 4. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope, though.
It's too easy. The thing is too easy to have like the MP3 stuff like that. We gotta step it up because then what happens now is we're creating. Now we're definitely bridging the gap because now we're bridging the gap with people that actually could play instruments and us being artists. Boom, that's a bigger crowd and it's a better show. Because a lot of these venues, like they're not gonna improve their equipment because they're like, what for? You're just gonna just yell at the mic all day. Fuck that.
And drop the mic, break the motherfucker, all that shit, man.
But then
that's
these
the
bands
sound
from
system
Orlando,
up.
you got a lot of these bands from Orlando, Sarasota. They come through and they put us on their tour spot. So they come in, they touring, stealing our fans, and getting the fuck out of here. No more of that. No more of that. We need to be able to hold our own. And that's why when I did the tour last year, I brought a couple artists with me so I could show them, like, no, we can go to Sarasota. We can impress them. And now we're the ones that they want us to bring back. No, we can go to Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you just have to believe in yourself. That's all.
Did you feel like going out of town, doing successful shows and coming back raised your profile at all?
Sometimes. We have to make sure that it all comes down to marketing. Because you can do a bunch of outside stuff, but people don't know because you're not like putting the marketing behind it. They won't know.
Yeah. I want to know about Gasparilla Music Festival, man.
Ooh.
Like how was that experience, yo?
That shit was amazing. Yo, it was a headache and it was amazing. It was amazing because they treated us like superstars. I'm not gonna hold you. Shout out to GMF. Now I get it now. Now it's like I can't go back. Yo, on Friday we had a show on Friday, right? So because they was like, yo, Preme, we need you for another show. So we did the bike joint. So you got there, they put us behind the back. They had a tent for us with fucking Red Bull. I brought the Yism with me. They had Red Bulls and waters and fucking comfy couches. I just Yism's like, yo, this is nice. I'm like, bro, this is the artist tent. This is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And they compensated us for the gig. So boom, we did the show. Then GMF, we went there. They gave us like a small little section to kind of go around. They gave us waters. They took care of us. We had like a small malfunction in the beginning. But then I was just like, we were just so like pumped up with energy. We just kept it going. Like because we usually have to backtrack. And I was like, fuck the backtrack, just run it. And we just ran it like blindly and stuff like that. And then the music started coming on. That's when we did Party Time. That's the footage that everybody sees. So Party Time, I'm just like, I hear the beat, but you hear that doom 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. I was like, okay, it's over.
You're like, oh, shit.
So that experience was dope, man. I think they're getting better at giving more opportunities out to everybody. Because I see KIII. That's how I know him.
K3.
K3, okay.
Yeah.
He's actually getting the opportunity to perform. Sammy Hughes, DJ Cool. So I think every artist that's serious about their craft, has to get that JMF experience, because now what happens is the people that attend that, they're able to be like, oh shit, you're here? And now we can just kind of just like change the demographic of our audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just need that belief to fit their ego so they can keep on going. So they have to keep stopping in between and shit like that, you know? And just to be on the same card as Nas is just amazing for me. Like, I don't, you know,
right.
I never did that.
Bro, I'll be looking at the flyers and just imagining, like, you know, if I'm hosting, if I was up there spitting, like, what would it be like to be on that motherfucking stage? And I was just like, ooh.
It's, I
like,
mean,
you gotta come correct.
Your time comes, man. It's. I'm not saying it's a lot easier than you think, but it's like it doesn't take much anymore, because they have a thing about doing back-to-back artists. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're consistent, shit, you could be on the next one. They just had one, so I think they're gonna try to do one twice a year, every year.
How did the Black Gala come to be?
That came out of nowhere. But then I talked to Justin. So Justin is on the board for JMF, and he's been trying to get that venue at the Straz since June, which is weird because it's like I was talking to Broken Mold because I was going to do the Straz in March. No. Yeah, in March. I was going to do the Straz in March. I only canceled because they have some weird drinking rules. Like, you can only drink in the lobby, you can't drink in there. And my fans drink, so I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to make this like a
have us sneaking our drinking and shit.
Yeah, bro. they're gonna break rules. So I was like, nah, you know. So Senya called me. He was like, yo, we're doing this Black Gala. We want to have you perform. I'm like, all right, who's on the card? I want to know who's on the card first. You know what I'm saying? Because the Straz is like, that's big. You can't like, you can't
half-ass that shit. You can't finesse yourself into that shit. Like, you got to come correct, that way we can come back type shit, you know?
Exactly. So yeah. I didn't want to be a part of, like, it being like a fucking nut job, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I care about my brand too much. So they did it clean, man. I saw they had the radio promo. Everyone was all dressed up nice. So basically, like, what they're trying to do is kind of like get into that whole non-profit circle with just a Black Gala, so that they can have something every month or every quarter, things of that nature. So that was like the first installment. So it was dope, you know what I'm saying? They did it the right way. COVID test, sound check at a decent time. I wish they had more artists out there, but other than that, I think for a first go around, it went really well. It was experience for real. Like, that stage is huge, bro. That's probably the biggest stage I've ever been on.
Yo, I want to see a track with Queen of X and y'all.
Okay, I'm with it. Yo, I knew she was a fan, so I'm watching her.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo,
you want to talk about energy? Y'all two, with the band behind you, would be fucking magnetic, dog. Like, that shit would be fucking. Whew.
I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna
like, for real. Yeah, Queen of X is super beast mode. She actually rocked our very first show. Every time we've had Queen of X on, I say 4 shows, I think. Every show we could be having no issues, but as soon as she touches the mic, something goes wrong with the audio. Like, the microphone always goes out. I think it's her energy. Like, her energy always just takes over everything. So it gets to the point where, we might not have, like, spaceship shit might not be working, the mics might not be working, and she won't even need that shit, bro. She will command the entire building with a fucking Jovan playing the drums and her doing her thing, dog. Like,
I feel like a Brolic dynasty, because she's just like, all words, it's just like, shoot, yo, she killed her set. I like her. I like Shelby. Siobhan I was just so mad that Siobhan went last, but oh man, Siobhan, that girl can sing, man.
Superstar, dog. Superstar. That's what we're talking about, man. Like, this is Tampa Bay. We ain't have to fly none of these artists in here for that. Like, we here. Siobhan is the next level beast, man.
Mm-hmm. She's my motivation. Because it's like, she's ready for the world, like, right now. She can sing so well. I actually just started paying for singing coaches, just so I can just like be able to protrude the emotion. That's what I love about her, because she could just put the emotion that's in the words. It could be something so simple like, I gotta get up at 6 a.m. There's like 6 a.m. And he's just like, I feel you.
Like, oh.
I love that
Straight
about
up. I want to know. Let me think here. Let me think. What do we want to know from Pusha Preme? For one, this is episode 9 of the Ways to Debate podcast. Talking Pusha Preme over here, Billboard Preme, holding it down, man. I want to hit you with a hypothetical question. So,
Okay.
let me see here. You need to give me 2 artists that you want to do a collab with. One needs to be a dead artist. One needs to be an alive artist, mainstream artist.
Mm. Okay. Nipsey Hussle and Pharrell.
Okay. Tell me
That'd be
about
dope.
Nipsey, man.
It'll feel like you know how Pharrell and Snoop had a record?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like me, Nipsey, and Pharrell could make like a beautiful part 2.
Are you a Nipsey Hussle fan or what? Because for him to come out your mouth first
Late.
before
I'm
many
a
other
late fan.
names. Yeah.
I'm a Lake fan. I jumped on Victory Lap, and
Okay.
I'll listen to him like in college. I forgot what song he had. I don't know if it's a song with Drake or somebody. He had a song with somebody.
Killer.
It was Killer?
Yeah, with him and Drake did Killer. I'm a
That's what it was,
motherfucking
yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
That shit. Okay.
That's what it was. So I heard that in college, and I was just like, I like this guy. And then when I heard he was selling $100 mixtapes, I'm just like, I
That nigga
really like
crazy.
this guy.
And he did it. Yeah. That's about the time I came in around Nipsey, I want to say. I want to say it was probably around 2011 or 12. It's because Ross was trying to sign him at the time. And that's why I remember I was like, Nipsey. I was like, who's this cat? And I started listening. And I'm a huge Nipsey fan, man. Like, Nipsey, you can't see my walls behind me because I got the background, but he's going to be on the wall. Like, he's one of the last kings that's missing off my wall right now. I'm trying to get that picture of him and Kobe dapping up on the LA Lakers court.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm going to put that on the wall over here. So that's, yeah, man. Another 2 greats lost before their time, Kobe and Nipsey, man. But I love Nipsey, dog. So that's an interesting combo. That's an interesting combo right there.
Hell yeah.
Okay, all right. What other questions I got in my box here? Oh, merch and branding, because you're one of the major ones about that. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much all I got left to ask you though. But merch and branding, I mean, when it comes down to the clothing line, it comes down to the mask. Why is it so important for you to have say so on your brand?
I think to define your identity. One thing when I used to be in my other group, they used to always put me in a box, man. Like, when I used to work out a lot, they were like, oh, he's like 50. Like, they'll see me and they'll judge what I'm going to say even before I even come out with what I got to say. Or, oh, I think he gonna sound like this and sound like that. So I didn't want to give people an opportunity to put me in any kind of box. Either you don't know, or you have to give me the opportunity, or you just don't care. It's going to be one of those 3 things, but I can't just, I don't blame them for doing that because society does that. Like, if I have like a face tattoo and I walk into like a grocery store or like a Publix and I'm just like, oh, I want to get a money order, she's going to just be like, are you paying with cash or debit? You know what I'm saying? They're going to give you that look, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what's been portrayed in society. And unfortunately, because we're in this world, I don't want it to take away from the music. You know what I'm saying? The music is like the child that doesn't deserve to have any kind of prejudice put towards them. You know what I'm saying? Like, let this like orb of like good energy like live on. Don't let me be the don't let the sins of the father be the spoil of the child. So that's why brand is so important to me, because I need to be able to tell this story the way I feel like it needs to be told.
But nah, for real though, that's what's up. Cause I'm the same way, man. Like I remember like when I first started doing music, like my cousin was the one trying to set shit up and like with the studio, and shit started falling apart, and eventually it's cut out the middleman type shit. And it's just because like you want to have some type of say so on what you're doing. Like you don't want anybody else to have control over, the image you're presenting or the sound that you want to craft or any of that shit there. So with that being said, How would you feel like if you signed to a major label and they try to make you change your sound up?
My sound, then we're gonna be in a war in the room. I can't change the sound because I feel like it was just crazy that you said it because like I'm working toward that the end of this year to sign with somebody. But no, I just feel like if you believe in like what I'm doing and that's going to be profitable, then you hear me out. But if you feel like you can do it, then go make another Preme. Like you don't need me.
Hmm.
If you feel like you're going to be able to put it out there better than I'm already putting it out there, then why do you need me? You know what I'm saying? For that, let me just ghostwrite for whoever you're going to put in the forefront. So it's highly important for it to be like the way that I'm doing it. Now I'm always open to criticism or things to elevate it, but we don't want to rile the people because then if I lose the core fans when you're done doing your Hollywood magic and they're done with me, I'm gonna have nothing to fall back on.
Mm.
So that's my biggest fear. Like that's why I'm always like big on my fan base. I connect with them. I talk to them. I hit them up. I send them unreleased music all the time. I have like a iPhone notes, and I just add them on there, and I just rotate people depending on like how active they are, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just work too hard for it to just be toyed with. You know what I'm saying?
All the way, man. All right, I got one last question for you, completely off topic from music. I know you're a huge sports fan. It's Black
Yes.
History Month.
Okay.
Brian Flores set all this shit on fire earlier this month with accusations on the NFL against the Rooney Rule and the hiring practices. I want to know
hmm
what your take is on that shit, man. 'Cause you've seen
I,
a
I
lot
think
of
I think he's right,
sports.
man. I think he's
Hmm.
right. Like Brandon Marshall was talking about it too. Brandon Marshall and Ocho Cinco, they're like, oh, why is it easier for NBA players to band together except for football players? The thing is like, like the coach, like it's unfortunate, like you can't even be African American and buy an NFL team, even if you have the money. So if you think that they're going to be fair on coaching, they're not going to be. He needs to speak out because that's what's going to ruffle the feathers to let you know whether or not they're going to do something about it or they're going to Colin Kaepernick you. You know what I'm saying? And people people have like their own opinion on Colin Kaepernick, like, oh, you should play, you should not play. But at the end of the day, it's like all we're just trying to fight for is just an equal playing field. And the same thing
Hmm.
Dr. Martin Luther King was fighting for, the same thing Gandhi was fighting for. It's the same thing even Jews during their times with Hitler and all that they was fighting for. We just want to be equal, and what's the harm in that? You know what I'm saying? Everyone just want to be treated, just given that fair chance. And I feel like certain markets still got like this old back way of thinking, and you know, you got to call them out. If you have proof, call the fuck ass out, man. For
Hmm.
real, call it out.
But you better have proof. You better be ready.
Yo,
Like ain't no half-assing that one,
they'll be like, whoop, straw, and then like switch across
boy.
the world, bro. You better have proof. But I mean, like the NFL did it with Donald Sterling. They're like,
Hmm.
here go your proof. And when you have the proof, what happens? Poof, no more Donald
Hmm.
Sterling. If you have proof, they'll get rid of the problem. They don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? We put a lot of money in those seats for sure.
I
So
feel
yeah,
like
shout out
I
to
feel
him too.
like I feel like the Kaepernick situation, I don't think we all realized how big it was when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we all realized the magnitude it was carrying in the moment. Because now that I look back on it all these years later, like, to think that him taking a knee sparks a majority of this shit is crazy. Like,
Hell
he
yeah.
deserves to have some flowers in his way for the chance he took, man. Like for real, like he put himself out there, just like Brian Flores right now. Like me and you, I don't know about you, I won't speak for you, but I don't think he's ever going to get a coaching job again because he's putting himself out there like that. Seeing how they did Kaepernick and all that
Yeah, but
shit,
not for
and
nothing. If he's a good coach, he can kind of do what Nick Saban did, go the college route.
mm,
He'll still get paid. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
college route is going to be the way I see him going because the NFL is just so controlled by old money. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's almost like corporate America almost, where you gotta be, and especially as a black coach, you gotta be motherfucking perfect in order to stick around.
Yo,
For your whole
I'm not
fucking
even a Pittsburgh
contract, bro.
fan, but the
And you
coach
gotta
for the
respect Mike
Steelers,
Tomlin.
yo, I respect him, bro. I got
All
him
of
as
us
a
do,
different
duh.
business.
All of us do. We can care less about the Steelers, but don't say nothing bad about no damn Mike Tomlin though. We all stand up for Mike Tomlin.
Facts.
Crazy shit, bro. Crazy shit. But yeah, I had to ask you that because I know you're a sports head, and just the climate of the country right now. It's just like a lot of shit's being exposed that some people ain't know is really facts, but the shit's really been swept underneath the rug the whole time. And now that the fact is in your face, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you can't hide from this shit.
People, I think what happens is like when you're far removed from the everyday like prejudiceness, you forget about it. Like, oh, I'm chilling. I live in Malibu. I live in Channelside. But it still goes on. So if you hear about it, you best believe put your ear to the ground because like just because like you're having dinners with these people and they're chilling with you, don't mean they fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? They're just being cordial, just being very cordial with you. So I definitely hear that. And it's kind of like the situation I had with the Orpheum, right? Which is so funny because every time someone tries to like play me on something, my next move is almost better. So I was talking to the Orpheum, and they gave me such a hard time. They're like, oh, you can't have no opening hip hop acts. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, because of the situation that happened with Extentacion. I'm like, nigga, that was the Ritz. That wasn't here. Then he's like, oh, well, the situation that happened with K-Camp. I'm like, yo, y'all bullshit. So I went to Ocean High. We had the sold out show there. So then we hit them back up again. And like, oh, we can do it. It's just that like maybe we can just kind of just end it early. And I'm just like, what's wrong with y'all? Like you be having these bands that be smashing their guitars on the ground and stuff like that. These white bands. Y'all don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even because I like y'all venue. I just want to do this here because of the history of what you guys are. But now that I know what you guys are about, it's like I don't even want anything to do with y'all. And then now years later, they're going to be moving out of Billboard.
Right.
So good. Let them get out of Billboard, man.
We had an experience with them too, man. Probably whatever year that was. I guess it's probably been about 5 years ago now. But yeah, we had an issue with them too, and ain't been back. Every time I've been to Orpheum, it's always been some issues where I felt like I wasn't accepted. And yeah, we don't do that shit around here. At all. Our money too valuable to be spending on people that don't want that shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're bringing people in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Like, right. Buying drinks and all that shit, man. Like, I can feel it, man. Hey, I want you to go ahead and share your social media information so anybody out there that wants to follow you can.
Okay. Go by Pusha Preme, PUSHAPREME, everywhere. You can Google it. Something's going to pop up. YouTube, if you want to get like a visual aspect of like what we're talking about. Instagram, the same handles. I'm not really on Twitter, but you can find me on Twitter as well too, or Facebook. Just anywhere that connects with you on a very consistent basis or level, that's where you can find me. And I hope that I have what you're looking for when it comes to content, music, or just motivation.
Straight up. Still humble with it, man. I appreciate that shit. This cat right here is one of the dopest, one of the elite from Tampa Bay.
Thank you, man.
Still
you too, man.
humble, even though he's on billboards, on Apple Music, all this shit, you still humble, man. It's still as humble as like the first time I met you. And, people change over time, so I truly appreciate that shit about you. Like, for real.
No doubt, man. The Lord's work is not done, man. Still got so much to do.
Yeah, we here with purpose, man, and our blessings can go to other people at the same time. So just spread yours to somebody that needs it. Keep on making that great music, and keep on just being an advocate of Tampa music, man. Like, we will win because we're already winning. It's just a matter of just getting out there and letting other people know about it. So thank you for taking time out to talk with us on the podcast, too.
No doubt. Thank you for providing this platform. Like I told you earlier with Ezra, like, we appreciate everything that you're doing. Shout out DJ Spaceship as well too. We all three of us got to get an event going on, something dope, something classy, something that it has our spin on it. So, by the end of this year, I definitely want to connect with you so we can do something for real.
I can see that happening. I got some suits I can throw on. See, I got the waves back now, so we can go there. We can go there. All right, Preme, man. Hey, blessings to you and the family, man. Thank you again for taking time out, and be easy, bro. Be safe out there, man.
You too, man. Take care, man. See you soon.
Too, bro. For sure.
Peace.
Love.
This Kino Sabi forever. Stand for something. We appreciate the blessing, bro. Let's go.
Ain't trying to bite it, we create it, then we ride it. We know our wave is seismic and you really can't deny it. We just keep on soaring higher, you would swear it's autopilot. Then you realize Tone and Shifter made a living off of fly. We are the wave and it's bigger than the moment. It's a movement that's progressing like a truck stick on opponents. It's time to stake our claim, it's time to bring the pain. We're battle tested, now it's time to show it ain't a game. It's time to make a lane, a different vibe, another way. We're known for killing, shoot, even help them pick their graves. We're breaking free in chains and running towards the daylight. The victory's in plain sight, we're taking flight to reach heights. These boys is tired of waiting, tired of playing, time to go. This vibe's been percolating, gaining steam to explode. Built in anticipation, maybe time to reload. We paid our dues, now we're coming back to repo. We kicking toes, we ain't